You could see they're going all out to try to save their constituents. And those are the illegals, because you have to remember they brought them into this country because they needed them to what? Number one, vote for them. They needed them to cheat in the election. Number two, they need them for riots. And number three, they needed them to blend the country. And you could see that this has been part of their plan for a very long time. And now the deep state players, they are now struggling because Trump and the Patriots, what they're doing is they're going around and they're deporting all the illegals. Now, they tried to stop Trump every step of the way by doing what? Well, they had to call out their judiciary, and they wanted to keep that hidden for quite a while, so no one knew that the judiciary is part of the system. Remember, they spent a very long time creating their deep state system, this entrenched system where they thought nobody would be able to dismantle it. And they spent a very long time putting all these pieces together, making sure that if anything should happen, they'd be able to call on any of these different agencies, on the NGOs, on the judiciary. And now they're at the point where they have to use the judiciary, and they have to expose to everyone that the judiciary is a tyrannical federal judge system. And that's what people are seeing right now. And Trump, every step of the way, what he's doing is he's making the deep state players panic. Now, remember, do we have the control necessary to bring everyone to justice? Well, think about it logically. When Trump said, okay, I'm going to deport the illegals, I'm going to deport the constituents of the Democratic Party, the deep state players, what happened? The judges came out and stopped, or tried to stop, everything that was Trump was trying to do. Now, of course, Trump, the DOJ, they went and they sued and they brought it up to the Supreme Court, but this took time. I mean, here we went from January, here we are in July already. Now, think about it. If Trump decided, hey, you know something? Let's release the Epstein files right now. Let's release them and let's go after all these people. Do we have the control that's needed to bring all these people to justice? What about all those people that were involved in Russian collusion? Yes, some of them are the same people. Do we have the ability to go after these people? Remember, this is what this is all about. Because you know what's going to happen is that if he went ahead and said, listen, we got all the Epstein information, we have Kash Patel, we have Dan Bongino, they're going to release it now, and we're going to make arrests. Oh, sorry, listen, I know all these people got off except for this one person, but you know what happened? The deep state players, they still control the judges in many of the different areas, the federal judges, and the judges ruled that that they're not guilty, or they had a jury that decided that they weren't guilty. Oh, almost like Diddy. So why would we do this at this point? Because remember, this entire mission is to take back the country and dismantle the deep state. It's not just to arrest a couple of people and expose a couple of people on Epstein Island. And actually, if they brought out the evidence right now saying, listen, we got the client list, we got the videos, and yeah, we're going to produce it real soon. What do you think these people would do? Would they hightail it out of here? Would they make an escape plan? What happens when you make people comfortable? What happens when you tell people that we can't find a damn thing? We have nothing on you. Are they a little bit more relaxed? Do they feel like, wow, okay, they don't have anything? They're not coming after us? That's interesting. Think about it. Why was a memo put out? I mean, when you look at the memo, there's no date, there's no markings, there's no signature. Even if it was a press release, there's no date, there's no markings, there's nothing. So once again, it's either one or two things. Now, Carolyn Levitt came out and said, no, this is from the FBI. But did they allow a leaker to put this out there, and then they just went along with it, saying, listen, we've got nothing. Can't find anything. You guys must have hid this stuff incredibly well because we can't find a damn thing. So do you really think that Trump and the Patriots, you really don't think they're going to go after these people? Do you think this is the right time to do it? Do you think they would release this information and tell everyone that they have it all so these people can actually flee the country? Remember, it's not just a couple of politicians. It's CEOs, it's people in Hollywood, it's many individuals. So why would we ever telegraph the moves? Why would POTUS telegraph the moves? Why would you reveal the evidence now when you don't have full control over the entire system? Yes, they're cleaning everything out. Yes, they're preparing everything. But remember, we only have one chance to do it. We have to follow the rule of law. We have to do it correctly. And we need to make sure that what? We get the House and the Senate back. When I say back, I don't mean majority. I mean control. I mean remove the rhinos, remove all those individuals that are actually working against us. And as we move forward and all of this is brought out into the open that, hey, look, we are now clean in the FBI. We're clean in the DOJ. We're clean. We cleaned out everything in the DNI. We cleaned out everything in DHS. Once everything is prepped and prepared, what does Trump have? What do all the agencies have at this point? Leverage. That is what's most important. Why would you attack your enemy unless you had the leverage and all the strength and you made sure that they were at their weakest point? So it'd be pretty darn ridiculous at this point to actually even say that we have any evidence of anything. Now, I do believe you can build it up. You can bring out the declassified information. You can start building it up like they've been doing with Russian collusion. And we could see that Tulsi Gabbard is now releasing declassified information about the Biden administration on how he was censoring and everything like that. And you build this up because you know what happens with this information? People say, I don't believe it. Trump, I don't believe what he's saying. I don't believe that these people were really that treasonous. I can't believe all of this. We have to remember, the public is with you. But as you bring out this information, there's always doubt. There's always people that are going to say this, it's not true. And you're going to have the trolls come out and try to basically counter everything that you're trying to do. I mean, look, we had the information come out that, hey, there's nothing on Epstein. Look how quickly people turn. Look how quickly people use their emotions and they get very, very upset. Look how quickly it happens. Put your emotions aside. Think about this logically. If you were going after the deep state, an entrenched system, a system that was created over many, many, many years, How would you go about it? And you have to make sure that you have the ability to prosecute. You have to make sure that you have the right judges in place. You have to make sure that you have control of the House and the Senate. You have to make sure that every single agency is clean. You have to make sure that everything that Soros has done, where he placed certain prosecutors and judges around the country, you have to make sure that they're replaced. How would you go about doing it? You think it would work right now? No, it wouldn't. Remember, justice is coming. But Trump, he needs to reverse everything that they did. He needs to make sure that we have the leverage, the strength, the ability to do what needs to be done. If we don't, all of this is for nothing. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If we don't dismantle, remove, and arrest these people, if we do not remove the Federal Reserve, if we don't do any of these things and we don't do it correctly, you know what's going to happen? If the Federal Reserve is left in place, well, they still have their money printing system. If we do not remove all the different agencies and the deep state players that are working in these agencies, you know what's going to happen? They're just going to restaff them with their agencies, with their personnel, I should say, in the agencies. If we do not change certain laws in this country that they've already implemented by taking control of the House and the Senate, well, what do you think is going to happen? All the executive orders and everything that Trump put in place, they're just going to reverse. So why in the world would we do anything at this moment? Do you think we have full strength right now? Well, if we did, Trump would be able to deport everyone, no problem. No one would interfere. No one would say a word. No one would get in the way. This is why it's not happening right now. Because we are not at that point. We're getting there. We're moving in the right direction. Trump is winning case after case after case, and he will continue to win case after case. And eventually what's going to happen is you need the House, you need the Senate to do what? To get rid of all the corrupt judges and everyone else. Because otherwise, if you keep them in place, how are you going to have trials? It's almost like when I think back to when Biden was in office and people, the investigation was happening with Hunter Biden, with Joe Biden, and people saying, why aren't we prosecuting? Really? With the DOJ that was in place, that was basically loyal to Obama. With the FBI that was in place, that was loyal to Obama. People really thought we were at that point, we were able to prosecute and bring people to justice? I mean, does everyone realize how bad this really is? You think that all these different agencies in the country's on your side? No, they're completely against you. We've been going through this for a very long time. Trump is reversing this. We are not there yet. Remember, it's like a small town. The mafia takes over the town. They take over the judges. They take over the prosecutors. They take over all the politicians in the town. They take over the press. And someone says, why aren't I getting justice? Because there is no justice. The mafia controls everything. The criminal syndicate controls everything. Trump is dismantling it step by step. And the last part of all of this, because remember, he has 2 years right now where they can clean out all the agencies. The agency heads can cut the personnel. They can remove the different agencies like USAID. Remember, you need money to bring it back. And I do believe once we have control of the House, once we have control of the Senate, there's one final step. Yeah, let's say we get rid of all the agencies, what Trump is doing. We fire all the personnel, which Trump is doing, yes. He does have certain roadblocks because remember, we're not in full control yet. There are certain roadblocks, but he's getting past them. Once all that's done and he slims down the government, removes the agencies, removes the personnel, we have the election, we take back the House, we take back the Senate. We have control, not majority, control of the House and Senate. The last thing he really needs to do is remove the ability for the deep state players to fund the agencies and hire all of the personnel back. So how do you do that? You get rid of the Federal Reserve. Because remember, that's open-ended credit card. They can print trillions upon trillions of dollars. If you get rid of that, you remove all funding, which means you cannot reestablish and recreate everything that was taken away.